Hello guys. I hope you don't mind a tarot reading today. I am having some construction done on my house, so things are very noisy around here. And filming is a bit of a challenge, but I had things set up to film for a tarot reading for someone else, so I thought it would be a good chance to do a video for you guys for the month of June, because otherwise I wasn't sure when I was going to get to do one. So I thought I would do the Hero's Journey spread for you today. So it's quite a big spread, so we'll see if I can get it all on here. So there's actually 13 cards. So we have 1, 2, 6 of Swords, 3. I don't do reverse cards usually, sometimes. 4. Sorry, someone has decided to be right outside of my house with a very noisy radio, but I hope you can't hear that. The Hanged Man, and I'll tell you what each of these mean. And there's 7. Normally this is just a circle, but since we have limited space, okay, bring those in a little bit. I hope you are all doing well. I am getting ready to go out of town tomorrow. That's another reason why filming has been a challenge. My son just ended school yesterday, and so things are going to get very noisy around here. And then 13, we will sneak right in there. Okay. The Page of Swords. So this is the Tarot of the Cat, people. It's actually the very first tarot deck I ever owned. Got it in high school, and I learned how to do some readings and freaked myself out so bad that I think I gave the deck away. And a few years ago, I decided to get it again because I loved it. I think I just learned some things in reading in high school that I didn't entirely understand. And so it scared me. But I'm going to try and whisper. I'm not always great at whispering. I know my interpretation of the cards, but this comes with a little book that's kind of nice. And so sometimes I like to check on their meaning of the cards as well. So our first card, and this is for all of us for the summer. So I picked the Hero's Journey because we're all on some sort of journey. And I hope that you can figure out what the meaning is for you. And the first card is the Ordinary World. So this is the present moment, and it's the 7 of Cups, which is a really great card for our first card because it's the card, it's sort of the wish card. It's that there's lots of options. It can be unrealistic expectations, but normally it's just, I always think of it as sort of an opportunity card. There's a lot of different choices and you can pick one that will be the best for you. So you may have a lot of options at the moment. The next card is the Call to Adventure. What adventure is calling you? So it's the 6 of Swords, which is another wonderful card because it's really the card of travel. It doesn't have to be travel. It can be it can be it can be moving away from anxiety. So it can be sort of success after a hard time, but it's usually some sort of journey, whether it's an actual physical journey or some sort of emotional journey, which makes a lot of sense as you're called to adventure. The High Priestess is refusal of the call. So what will happen? What stops you from accepting the challenge? And that was actually going to be reversed, but I turned it around. So I may read both options for the High Priestess. The High Priestess normally means kind of wisdom and figuring things out, and sometimes it's that there's sort of hidden knowledge. When it's reversed, which it was supposed to be in this case, it can mean ignorance. So I think what may prevent you from accepting the challenge is not knowing what the outcome will be, but that's okay. It's all right not to know what's going to happen all the time and to take the leap anyway. Especially in this case, you have so many options and you're moving away from a hard time or you're moving towards something great. This is the time to take the leap. So the Five of Wands is the number 4 card. So this is supernatural aid. Who is your guide or helper along the way? And this is someone who's juggling an awful lot of wands, and that person may be the helper that you need, or it may be you. This is where you're struggling. So how is that someone that's helping you? So you need someone to sort of help you through when there's conflict and obstacles. And hopefully that person will come forward. So when you are afraid because you don't know what's going to happen, there should be a person who comes along, or an idea. Sometimes I don't think it's an actual person. Sometimes I think it is something within yourself that shifts, and all of a sudden you know how to get through the obstacles. Because this is a helping card, so just a negative outcome would not make sense. This is what's going to help you get through that. So your next card, the number 5, is the Hanged Man, and this is what is your challenge. So your challenge is being patient and waiting for what is going to happen instead of forcing your way through. And it may be waiting to not know the answers, like that you're not going to know exactly what the outcome is going to be, but to go forward anyway. And then the 6th card is meeting with the goddess. So meeting with the goddess means, what or whom do I love most? Interesting. So the Magician is all of the skills that you have. So what do I love most would mean that you love feeling competent. You love, and I think that actually makes sense with the High Priestess card. So you like knowing what you're doing. You like knowing what's going to happen. You like being able to prepare and control things. And in this case, you're not always going to have that. So I think in your meeting with the goddess, you will start to feel more competent, but it'll also be you kind of moving forward without necessarily knowing what skills you're going to need, but knowing that you have the skills to move forward. You don't have to know what is going to be needed. You will be able to figure it out. And the 7th card is Woman as Temptress. Ooh, what do I desire more than anything? So the Empress. The Empress is about is about nurturing. A lot of the time, the Empress is about taking care of others. So in this case, what do I desire more than anything? You desire either to help others or to be helped in this circumstance. And hopefully that'll come clear the more we do this reading. So 8 is atonement with Father. And that's the Fool. Interesting. So what person or thing holds ultimate power in my life? So the Fool is really about moving forward, again, without knowing what the outcome is going to be. So I think that's scary for you. I think you don't like to feel out of control. Even if you're not totally out of control, just not knowing exactly what's going to happen, which is going to happen so many times in our life. And I think the Magician card, I mean, you have so many major arcana in this card. So you start off with the High Priestess sort of telling you that you may not know what's going to happen, but you will be able to figure it out. I mean, the High Priestess is not a card of things not going your way. I mean, the High Priestess figures stuff out. And you need to be patient, but you have all of the skills. So you either will receive help for this, or it really, I think, is about you nurturing yourself, about you acknowledging that you feel nervous when you don't know exactly what's going to happen, but that you have strength, and that you can take care of yourself, and that you can use the tools that you have to make it through, even if you don't know exactly what's going to happen. So the 4 of Pentacles in the number 8 position, in the number 9 position. So number 9 is the ultimate boon. What happens when I confront this power? When you confront this power, you actually have quite a lot of, in this case, it's money often, but you have a lot of security is what I feel in this case. So your boon when you kind of are getting through this whole journey is that you will then feel secure again. There's going to be a period of time in here when you have to be patient and not know what's happening, and you may feel very insecure with that. The 2 of Cups, beautiful. So that is your number 10. The Master of Two Worlds. How do I accept the duality of my journey and integrate it into my life? So it's finding the things you love. This may be people, or it may be activities that you love. I'm going to read what they say with the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups for me is not usually about a specific person I love, although it may be. Maybe you finding someone you love, but normally for me it's about things that I love. So it may be finding new friendships. It may be finding new passions, new hobbies, like not necessarily with a person, but with an activity, something I'm interested in, some sort of understanding that I gain. So again, feeling more competent about something as well. And then your 11 card is, what strength do I draw upon confronting this challenge? So justice. So if you are going through this process with good intentions, being kind, being thoughtful and trustworthy, like as long as you are not doing anything underhanded, you're creating your good karma here, it will all work out. So that is your strength. Your strength is knowing how to make your decisions in a forthright way. There's some reading I've been doing, and one of the things they've been saying is, if you're not sure what to do, figure out what would be kind, and that's the answer. So your 12th card is what is my reward, which is interesting because it's also what is the ultimate boon. What happens when I confront this power? So when you confront feeling I think uneasy with not having complete control, you start to have more security. But your ultimate boon is the 9 of Cups. And the 9 of Cups is really about, I mean, again, it's success, but it's often abundance. So abundance, whatever that means to you. It could be financial, again, but because it's the Cups, I think of it more as emotional abundance. So you're happy, you're joyful. But I think also you have gained a victory over your own worries and anxiety, knowing that you don't have to know exactly what's going to happen, but that you can overcome any obstacle anyway. And then, how am I changed? Oh, I like that question. So the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords, the court cards trip me up sometimes, but they are usually about somebody who's a novice, who's figuring something out, which makes sense for this card, because this is sort of you getting through this and this first little inkling of new information that you gain from it. So this is someone who's adept at perceiving and uncovering the unknown, or that which is less than obvious. So this may be about heightening your intuition through this process. I mean, it seems like a card almost of divination in some ways, like that you will, through being willing to go through this process without knowing exactly what's going to happen, you will actually gain insight so that the next time you go through a journey like this, you will actually be able to see, you will have more kind of inner knowing and perception and intuition about what you need to do and how you need to move forward. So there will be lots of choices, lots of good things happening for you. You will be either traveling or making either a physical journey or an emotional journey. I mean, it sounds much more like an emotional journey, but sometimes that happens while we are traveling. It's interesting because I'm traveling in 2 days, so maybe during this time I will have a bit of this epiphany. I don't know what this is. A different kind of travel for me than I've usually done. I'm traveling with different people. So I don't know what this situation is going to be like. I'm not clear, and I'm hoping that someone will help me juggle this insecurity. I will try to be patient. I do have the skills. Like, I may not know what skills I'm going to need to use, but I know I have them. And I will nurture myself as well as the people I am with. And I will accept that I may not necessarily know what I am stepping into. So what holds power over me is I actually do like transformation. As much as I have anxiety about it, I don't like stagnating. I like growing and moving forward and knowing that I'll have some security at the end and find something that I love. I think through finding the things that I love and seeking them out will help me get through, and hopefully you get through this journey. And I will be kind to myself and others and do things in a way that I am proud of. And again, hopefully the outcome, the reward will be happiness and a new level of joy. And I will start to trust my intuition a little bit more. And maybe, it's not always intuition. Sometimes it's just being having gone through an experience, being more aware. So maybe I will know next time when I travel with these people or in this kind of situation, I will know how to handle it better and how to do it in a different way that makes it easier for me. But I think all in all, it's going to make me feel good in the long run. So I think a lot of these cards, although there's a lot of major arcana here, they're more about sort of what strengths you have rather than serious obstacles. The ones that are kind of obstacle cards are not major arcana, so I don't think they're really big obstacles. And I think, you know, this happiness that you're going to gain will be more internal. So I hope that is helpful for you. I hope you enjoy these readings. I love doing readings. I haven't done readings in a long time. They're very fun for me. As I've told you, I don't know how much they work in terms of actually telling the future, but I think they are interesting ways to have different perspectives on things and to try to look at a situation in a different way. I often feel they're helpful in bad situations because they help us to look at, you know, what is the lesson I can learn in this situation since I can't control it. And I hope that is helpful for you, and I will do my best to do videos when I can, when my house is not horribly noisy. I hope you understand as I get through the summer, and I hope you're all doing well. Take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.